we go.
All right. Well, that's a relief.
And hopefully they saw that the race was actually starting.
Yeah, mine
there
are
they
perfectly
go.
synced right now. I'm at a 10, 11, 12.
I'm at 10 on stump starting now.
I can delay it for you.
All right,
Give me a count.
I will. It's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28,
Okay, we're
29. Good. All right. So, hey, everybody. Welcome to some more Pokemon Puzzle League. We're getting our technical difficulties sorted out. We're ready to see some awesome matches here. And Stump right out of the gate, making a pretty powerful first win there. Karioki having just a little bit of trouble.
Way to go! Way to go!
Also, because this is the redemption bracket, this is in hard mode and not in V hard mode.
Are you ready?
Oops, hit the wrong button. I stopped my recording, so hopefully I don't start dropping frames, or else I'll have to do some splicing at the end of this.
Yo, banned for splicing.
Splicing the tournament VODs. That's not what actually happened. You gave him an unfair advantage.
Way to go!
Yeah, Stomp on a roll right now. He got another sub 20 there, and he's pulling off to quite a bit of a lead right now. Karioki's having a little bit of trouble sending garbage immediately here. And Brock actually managed to get a 4-chain. That's nothing you see quite that often.
No, definitely not in hard mode. And hard mode is very reminiscent of Tetris Attack's regular hard mode as well. The AI is pretty slow. They don't really do a whole lot of chains. So when they do get a chain, it's really, really unfortunate because it's usually by accident.
I'm gonna win! Hey! Way to go!
Man, the stop time is... That was a lot of stop time on Stump's side there.
I'm a Pokemon master!
Sometimes it just adds up immensely, and it just seems like it's lasting forever, legit. Like, the seconds will just pass by so quickly in your head, and you're like, wow, this seems like 5 seconds already, even though it's probably not that long, but it feels like it.
No, for real. All right, so we got Karioki finishing up Misty, moving into Lieutenant Sturge, and Stump looks to have a little bit more than a stage lead at the moment.
Way to go!
Yeah, Karioki picking up some slack after a little bit of a rough start on the first 2 stages. Stump losing a little bit of steam as well, but 31 seconds for their skill level is not too bad at all, and it's going to be enough to keep like this 1.5 stage lead.
Absolutely, and certainly Karioki is the kind of person that definitely gains momentum the more she plays. So it might be a rough beginning of the game, but she's definitely gonna wake up and start doing some good stuff here at when it gets closer to the end.
Way to go!
We are not beat yet.
Ah, that
will
unfortunate Koga there.
I will say she'll need to probably get a little bit above what her average has been, because Stump has picked up his game in bracket. I think he went to a game 3 with Raikal in winners and just came up just ever so short. So he's playing off some momentum and been getting consistent times.
Yeah, and both of them there finishing their matches at pretty much the same time, so it's still just maintaining that solid one-stage lead.
Way to go! Pikachu!
Stump pulling off some pretty good chains here. A 6, a 7.
I will say I usually don't play favorites, but I'm going to play the favorite with karaoke for one specific reason, because Stump is not playing Pokemon Puzzle League blocks on PPL. I don't care if you grew up with Tetris Attack, it's a rule. You got to keep the badges on your blocks. They look so good.
So just so everyone knows, I play with Tetris Attack blocks on Pokemon Puzzle League, and I'm not ashamed.
That's why we kicked you from the tournament. He did. He'll try to tell you that he didn't want to sign up, but no, we said sorry, sir. We don't want you in this tournament.
I've been exposed.
But Stump's making me shut up a little bit as he's getting some pretty quick stages with those blocks, and he's past the halfway point already at 6 minutes in.
He's got a really good pace going here. Judging by his splits, he's pretty much on par. Just by 11 seconds over, which is, for this game, pretty good.
God, everyone's criticizing me now and saying the Tetris Attack blocks. I guess they look better, but still, it's Puzzle League. That's my opinion.
I've been vindicated. Thank you, everybody. Your check is in the mail.
I guess I'm getting DQ'd for my next 2 rounds.
I better see some Tetris Attack blocks when you stream your next round.
Oh god, I don't think I've ever enabled that option on my cart, except for maybe when we had the tournament at AGDQ. But not besides that, and I've owned my same cart since the game came out. Stump has an interesting playstyle for sure. I don't think he knows too much of the strats for hard mode. He kind of just plays. He does a little bit of studying. He picks up a bunch of games. I've seen him join in on several tournaments like Super Metroid and things. His biggest thing is he can get a chain started. It's kind of inconsistent if he does get one or not, but when he does, he usually almost tops off the opponents because he gets some pretty high chains for hard mode. He'll pull off some 7s and 8s fairly consistently, but if he doesn't get that chain started, that's when he starts to struggle.
And that's definitely where you see more newer players start struggling with constructing their chains is really just kind of gaining that chain momentum. They you kind of have to have a combination of moving stuff on the fly as well as have that slight amount of setup, or at least if you can't set up too much to get like a kind of a path for your blocks that, or recognizing patterns or whatever you happen to do. But it is something you pick up just through playing this game long enough.
Your ability to adapt is probably one of the biggest traits you'll need for this game. It's just because sometimes you'll get incidental clears that take away what you thought your next chain was. And at least for me, when I'm thinking of going through chains, I'll look at multiple colors that I could make for the chain and then like analyze the field around it and weigh my options like while in the middle of the chain as well. So, I mean, that's hard to do, just like adjusting to whatever pattern you're given, but it's an important thing to have in this game.
Yeah, what you were saying about incidental clears, certainly true. I remember when I first started playing these games, that accidental clear, that one horizontal clear you didn't see, and suddenly your entire chain is dead, your entire round is dead. And that was you'll notice it with with players that are just starting out, and you kind of grow out of it, or you get used to it. But Stump here is what I'm noticing. Stump is actually really good at incorporating big combos into his chains as well.
I'm ready, Caillou.
Yeah, he knows how to send the garbage. Like, when he gets cooking, like I said, he does some really good things. And I think that's probably where Karioki lacks just a little bit. Maybe not the ability to send the big chain. But she's good at sending a moderate amount of garbage a lot of the times, which will get the opponent killed. And she does a good job giving herself room to work with, because she raises her stack like pretty good at the beginning of each round.
Yeah, I swear by raising the stack up that high, especially on these difficulties where you need to send a lot of garbage and you're not really worried about managing it. Giving yourself a lot of options is really going to help you out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In terms of hard mode, it's not really optimal to raise it up, but still, if you need to, always give yourself as much room if you have like a hard time finding chains and little amounts of blocks.
I'm gonna win.
And Karioki seems to be just coming up just slightly short.
I'm gonna win. Pika. I'm gonna win.
Yeah, but that's probably the big thing. The biggest mistake by both of them. Karioki gets a really funny kill there, but just piling on that garbage after your initial chains, you always got to make sure they're topped off, or else they'll continue to clear, and you may be low on blocks with a lot of garbage, and you just simply can't put out a lot of garbage in that state. And you'll see that a lot in super hard and very hard, where if you don't get that quick kill and you don't have a lot of blocks to work with, that's why people do the reset, because then they got to break off this big garbage block on their side, and it takes forever. I mean, you can eventually top off your opponent, but you're just losing more and more time, and then it's still, even then, it's not guaranteed to kill.
Oh yeah, and you fall into that trap of okay, do I keep chaining? Do I keep trying to do big blocks? Do I keep trying to fill them up? And all the while, they're just continually getting this chain after chain after chain, and you just end up stuck.
I'm gonna take you down. I'm gonna take you down.
Cloister doing his thing right now. I always love that sound bit.
Oh yeah. So we actually had some people complaining in the last one.
That was pretty sick time lag chain there by Stump. Sorry to interrupt you, but...
Oh no, you're good.
It always throws me off when I see someone not of a lower skill level, but like not like top level, doing things like that. It's really cool to watch.
I can't even do lag chains half the time. I have to get really lucky and kind of notice it setting itself up, and then I'm like, all right, I'll see if I can keep that going. And even then, it's not as impressive as when I watch a top tier player do it.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty difficult to get them most of the time. You'll either have to have like a build that's already like 2 steps already completed, and then look for something else really quick. That's what I do in the most part. Or do the strat of like the time lag when clearing garbage blocks, where you have 2 things set up and then you like switch with that 3-frame window right at the last second.
Yeah. Or you could just be a god like FFR Pro and then just be really, really fast.
Yeah. We don't talk about the Blinzers and FFRs. They got an unfair advantage. They got a battery in their thumb that just like allows it to like move back and forth really quick, so they can just tap their D-pad as fast as they want to.
We are in talks about banning battery thumbs though, for the speedrun purpose. So just stay tuned for that decision.
And that's why Blinzer forfeit, because he had to fight for his cause to keep the battery thumbs.
Yeah. The decision wasn't official, but we told him it's in his best interest to just not.
Well, while we've been blabbering all that nonsense, Stump is on the final stage right now, so he's
He
in
is.
a really good position to take it. Karioki down by 2 full stages and still struggling on Lorelei. Nothing's impossible right now, though. Stump's got a pretty good chain that he dropped at the last second, so Gary could bail himself out a little bit if he finds a clear in enough time.
And it looks like Gary's doing it too.
Yeah, here's these big chains. Just Stump's ability to pull off those chains is what's making him a favorite in this matchup. Because you really don't see that all too much on Karioki's side, except for this monster chain that's been going on right now. So I didn't even see that developing at first, but an 11 chain is going to do it, man. That's how you get crushed. But unfortunately, that's not going to be enough as Stump finishes out Gary at 113, and he will take this race 1 of the best of 3.
And GG to Stump. And unfortunately, I gotta fix my my streams because I'm a little delayed, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure, no problem. All right, Karioki's got a pretty good chain finishing up right here. She could have gone for the yellow too, just to send one more line, but she's getting some time lags herself, and this should be enough for Bruno. Let's see how he reacts to the couple of garbage that's falling. He is gonna get at least 1 chain off of it, and his stack is a lot lower after a couple combos and chains. So this may be enough if he can't find anything immediately. Dang. Sometimes it just lined up and it's a little bit unfortunate, but luckily a couple frames saved there, and Karioki's going to be moving to the 15th stage.
All right, I'm back. I had a little bit of lag there, and my streams quit, so I was behind. And now I think I'm very ahead, so we can wait to do a count.
Yeah, sure. I'll just
until the
buffer
next one.
back up to what the times were. I think I'm just need to do like 8 seconds ahead. Cool thing about this about VLC is you can hit the N key if you're ever behind time, and it'll buffer the live stream up 4 seconds.
Hit the what key?
In.
Oh, check you out.
All right, Karioki finishes the last 2 stages pretty well, so 17:26, not too bad, only 2 minutes behind Stump. Good finishes like that are going to make you feel good going into the next race as well.
Absolutely. And wait, I definitely noticed some improvement with Karioki from when in the first couple of stages to the end. So I think we're going to see a pretty good second round here. I wouldn't count Karioki, or I wouldn't count out Karioki in this next one. That's what I love about these tournaments being best 2 out of 3, because that first one is usually, you get a little nervous, you might be a little shaky or a little rusty, and then the winner is gonna like gain that momentum, be like feeling good. Okay, I won that round, just gotta win one more, and the loser is gonna be ready for revenge. And the second round is usually really fun to watch.
All right, so what do you think Karioki has to do to improve upon her gameplay to take this second race?
So I think what Karioki was lacking was the ability to put a lot of garbage on screen all at once. It seemed like her struggle came from sending some garbage, it being a little too short and not really heavy on the chains, and the AI was able to clear it pretty quick. So I think larger chains are going to really help her out.
All right, on mine I have 12, 13, 14.
All right, keep counting. I'm ahead of you.
All right, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Okay, we good.
Keep on trying. Keep on trying.
Perfect. All right, all synced up. So stage 1, once again. Do you notice any sort of changes in their gameplay? Maybe any sort of strategies that they were neglecting that they've started to pick up?
I guess it's a little bit early to tell right now. Karioki did have a really good start there, and she's gonna take the lead for the first time in this match. But like you mentioned earlier, if Karioki just improves upon the chains a little bit, and she was going for something kind of fancy there, I respect it, because it would have been like leading to a big chain with a 6 combo in the middle of it. But as you can see, if you do drop those chains, they hurt you pretty hard, as it gives the opponent time to clear, and it doesn't top them off most of the time. But as long as you have those good fallouts, which she's doing good so far in these first 2 stages, and Stump, as usual, it's just consistency on his end. He gets that big chain, the opponent's going to die sometime. He's not going to live.
Stump is very good at keeping the pressure on. He tops off the opponent, and then he just keeps laying on the pressure. And in this mode, that's kind of the formula for winning.
Yeah, she finds her in a spot like this, and this is where you can improve a little bit. She had a lot of space to raise blocks, my bad, raise the blocks, but she had 2 separate ends on each side that she probably could lower. It's important having even stacks so you have more room to work with, and it's just easier to find chains. So you gotta know maybe a little bit of like trying to move your chains around to lower stacks at the same time, if that makes sense. Because if you focus on the center and you're not quick enough to lower the left and right sides at the same time, that's when it becomes tough to get those kills. But Karioki did a fine job on that stage, and she's going to continue with this lead. 10-second surge, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and like you were saying, with the towers of power on either side, it can actually end up killing you if you're not careful. If you have your stacks on either side a little too high and they lay a chain garbage block, you have to move back and forth between the 2 columns to lower your stack before you die. So it's kind of dangerous on that end as well. So as Forky was saying, you really gotta be careful about having uneven stacks and try and when you try and lower them both quickly and consistently, and then as you get better at the game, try and incorporate the blocks that are in those left and right sides into your chain so you don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, Stump was showing us off some really good chains on his side. That's the consistency I like to see from him. You can tell he just generally reacts a little bit faster than Karioki, and that's how he's able to get 5+ chains like most of the time.
Yeah, I think the hardest part of starting out this game is certainly moving from that setup phase where you're setting up your chains ahead of time to the reaction phase where you're kind of just doing everything on the fly. A very good balance of both is going to make you very successful in this game. But Karioki's still maintaining her lead here.
It won't be
ever
by
so
much,
slightly.
Though Stump with a 23-second right behind, so he's been gaining a little time as we've been going through the stages. But Karioki putting up a fight and still keeping this lead.
So Karaoke there she was going for the red all the way up at the top, and she wasn't quick enough to get it. So that would have been a good idea to maybe look around and see if there was a color that was a little easier to reach to get a chain that might have been a little quicker.
I think she got the S-Hard quick kill there. I think I saw a little bit of the cursor dance from the opponent. She could have dropped that chain a little bit earlier, but it showed her like just getting off the 6 chain, better safe than sorry. It's hard to focus on both of the playing fields at the same time, and that's something you just need to learn by doing more and more runs when you get more confident with getting consistent chains and stuff, because that's like the whole meta for S-Hard is like timing on when to drop your chain.
Oh yeah, you got to really be in control of your gameplay at that point. I'm noticing Karaoke's chaining is actually improving as we're talking about it. She seems to be more consistently topping off her opponent. Unfortunately, Blaine here is just giving himself so much stop time. So looks like Stump is going to take the slight lead here as they both head into Tracy.
Yeah, as far as I've seen the past couple matches from Stump, he's playing a lot better than last round, even though he wasn't even playing that bad to begin with. He's seeing a lot of chains and just setting them up pretty well. I mean, they're lined up pretty well for him too, so he's getting pretty favorable patterns, as we can see with that 13-second. He did a very quick setup, dropped that 4 chain, I believe, and wow, Karaoke's like, hey, you want to see that happen twice now?
She's like, I'll call your 13 with the 13 of my own, good sir. As they both head into Rocket. This match actually ended up being a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's pretty neck and neck right now. Let's see who gets off to this better chain start at the beginning. Both Rockets playing with pretty high stacks, but neither are topped off right now. I think Karaoke's sending a pretty decent chain now. So if Rocket trolls Stump a little bit longer, which it looks like they will, Karaoke might retake the lead back. Oh, with that last second clear, it might do it still, and it will.
All right. All right. So this is a dramatic shift in what we saw from last round, where now it seems that Stump is the one having a little bit of trouble, while Karaoke seems to be getting really consistent, quick kills here.
This is the puzzle league I like to see, is just constant lead switches, because that's usually what happens. I think we've had some matches earlier in the bracket where we've had like 10 lead switches in one race, which is insane.
Oh, man.
Considering there's only 16 stages at most, the least amount possible for this tournament, 15 with hard mode here.
Karaoke there with a 20 on Giovanni. Had a lot of screen shake there, which I'm actually kind of happy to see. A lot of screen shake means pretty big chains, so she's definitely noticed what she needs to be working on and has certainly addressed it.
Might I say her PB is 15 minutes as well, so she's on a really good pace to get a PB if she keeps it up. And she's doing a really good chain to start it off right now with a 5 combo on the end of it. So this might be enough for Richie. She should get that follow-up just in case. Yeah, she's chaining pretty well and mixing in combos very nicely, so that's how she's able to keep this lead. Stump is crawling ever so slightly back, though.
Yeah, she seems to be getting some really good wins, and then Stump, just that slight bit behind, is like gaining that 5-6 seconds.
I'm gonna take you down. Can't win them all.
And this is what I like to see too, when you know yourself on karaoke stream, when you know you're not in immediate danger and you don't have a lot of garbage blocks, do chains. Get rid of the rest of your blocks on the screen, even if you have like no clears left, because you can always just raise your stack afterward. You're not gonna like get random garbage to top you off and kill you by surprise. Always like stretch it out as much as you can if you know you only need a little bit more, rather than trying to raise that immediate second, because it could mean the difference in the kill. Stump with a nice follow through on Lorelei. He may get this kill if she doesn't see it, but she gets that 7 combo, so that's a lot of lines to clear on her side. Let's see if Stump might be able to get the follow-up here.
So here we're noticing the bit of luck that Karaoke was having. Bruno, with his much faster cursor speed, is sort of capitalizing on mistakes here. So if Stump is going to catch up, this is going to be where it happens.
Yeah, Bruno is very low on blocks. Karaoke's going to be a little bit short at topping off, and just by a little bit he managed to get the clear, but not enough stop time after that, and they're going to be finishing almost dead even, just a stage apart.
Wow. And both with very long rounds there. It's almost impressive.
All right. Well, this is Karaoke's race to lose right now. 1 stage left. Stump's got to deal with 2 full stages, and they're not easy opponents whatsoever. They can pull out big chains whenever they want to. And Stump kind of starting a little bit sluggish. I've noticed he raises his stack sometimes at the beginning, but sometimes he just goes for immediate chains, and he can't really get any follow-ups for that, because he works best when he has plenty of blocks on his screen to use.
Definitely. And that it goes back to our talk earlier about how raising your stack to give yourself options, especially when your skills might not be all the way up at the top tier. Raising your stack is going to give you so many options to work with, and it's going to ensure that you don't run out of blocks for your chain. So if you're having trouble using the least number of blocks for a big chain, consider raising your stack at the beginning. It's the easiest time to do it.
All right, Stump does finish it here. Karaoke, I think, has Gary topped off. Is he going to find a clear? No, he doesn't.
There it is. And that's a PB for Karaoke.
Wow. Really strong run from Karaoke. A PB by several minutes, and she's going to bring this to a game 3. Like, all the momentum's on her side. This could go either way for this game 3.
What did I say, Forky? I said don't count her out. She's got to figure out what she's got to do, and she did.
Well, if you could define adjustment by any video clip online, I think we could use that one there, because that was so different from the race before. Alrighty, well, we got Stump finishing up pretty soon here, and we're going to have some Game 3 action. I'm pretty excited for this. Oh, no! Oh, Stump had him topped off, and then he didn't really pay attention too much on his own screen. I mean, the race is over right now, but I think he was still going for a pretty good time on his splits. Not a PB, but, you know, pretty good average for him, because I think he was averaging around 14 or 15 minutes in group rounds.
Yeah. That he must have. I can only imagine he must have got a little frazzled, noting that the race was over. I know that certainly happened to me. Hopefully he uses that emotion to his advantage in our game 3 coming up, and we see some really aggressive play from him.
Let's see if he can maybe pull this off for a sub 15. I'm not sure. Gary's liking to make clears and chains right now.
Yeah, Gary's been trolling pretty hard right now with these chains.
I remember first when playing this game when I was younger, and I kind of breezed by easy, normal, I guess, like most people will. But hard was actually pretty hard. I mean, I kind of laugh at it now, but I remember being stuck on Gary forever, and I might have logged 99 continues on hard mode. I'm not sure. I definitely did on the other two, but
I didn't play this game as a kid, but playing Tetris Attack, I can sympathize with that.
boy, I don't even want to talk about, like, I think I had more continues on very hard than super hard because it's just a huge jump from hard, and you have to be really consistent with chains. I wish it counted past 99 to see how many continues I actually spent on that mode. Well, this is rough for Stump. Not only did he have a death on Gary last time, this one's going on 2+ minutes, and he's just failing to top off Gary. It's a rough cycle.
Yeah, and it's even tougher when they're making these clears. You're trying to balance clearing the garbage that might kill you with sending enough garbage, and sometimes you just get caught in this cycle. And he's getting kind of dangerous there. He's up to 2 minutes, which means the stop time is not going to be as much. So mistakes like that could actually be the difference between life and death.
Oh, is he going to have enough here? Gary's going to lower his stack. And, oh, yes,
there it is.
Right at the end there. Good stuff.
So you can tell from his splits there, Gary was just the ultimate troll, adding nearly 3.5 minutes.
Like, he had a pretty decent run, and he was still in contention in that race, even when he started Gary. I mean, Karioki finished, like, pretty quickly after he got to Gary. But he was doing pretty well, and then just hit a big wall there and lost so much time.
Yeah, welcome to Puzzle League, I guess. That's just the way this game goes sometimes. You'll one day have a great run, and then the next you're just stuck.
Oops, sorry if that was super loud on the stream. Windows sounds are pretty great sometimes. Alright, so we got a winner-take-all scenario right now, and this is Tournament Bracket Live. The loser will not get any more chances. There will not be a redemption bracket. You're done. We'll see you next year, if we have another one next year. Which I'm sure we'll have one. I'm sure we'll have one at least in the series, since it's a pretty popular, if not the most popular franchise in our Discord. Alright, so here's my take on the situation right now. If Karioki repeats her performance from last time, I don't think Stump can top that, to be honest. I mean, I guess if Stump like pulls off his big chains every single round, but that was a really, really good round from Karioki. It's hard to actually beat a time like that at this stage of the bracket.
I would like to point out that with that run that Karioki just had, she actually beat Stump's PB by nearly 30 seconds. Just over 30 seconds, actually. So that that's like almost a full paradigm shift from what we saw in round 1 to round 2. So I think there might be some emotions here. I think that we're going to see some really excellent gameplay.
Also, for a count right now, I got 32, 33, 34.
Yep, we're still synced.
Sweet. All right, so Stump's going to take a slight lead right now. Karioki follows up with a 20-second Ash, or I almost said Ash, Gary. I wish you were just a random person you fought Ash too, because sadly the only time you get to hear his danger music is when you're playing a 2-player versus.
Yeah, I don't actually think I know what his danger music sounds like. That is something I'm going to have to find out.
I think it's like the Pokemon Master song, I want to say. It's like whatever the hurry version of the main menu music is.
Oh, okay.
I'm only familiar with it because I listen to the OST from time to time, but even then, like, when you play 2-player, me personally, I never pick Ash because I don't think his music is the greatest to begin with. I usually go for the fast-paced ones. Like, I love playing Surge, Koga, Giovanni,
Bruno for sure.
Bruno, yes. Those are probably the 4 I go to.
Bruno's got some tunes. Lorelai's tunes are good too. Those are probably my top 2 in this game.
If you join a versus tournament, I recommend picking Giovanni because I think he's won every single Puzzle League tournament we've had. He's OP. He's a A+ tier. Make sure you always pick him in your matches.
So I thought he was banned from versus tournaments.
Oh, we don't talk about that. Maybe we can ban him, but we'll let all previous iterations of his placements slide.
Oh, okay, okay. Starting now, Giovanni's banned.
And we already
Don't
banned...
let Forky catch you using Giovanni.
I'll drop that ban hammer immediately. I got my right click ready in chat. You better watch out.
All right, so we're seeing a slow start for Karioki here as Stump moves about a stage and a half ahead. I think Stump realized what went Stump realized what went wrong in that last one, and now he's really trying to fix it. I don't know why that sentence was so hard for me to say.
Give up?
I'm gonna win. Way to go.
Give up?
So on Stump's side there, you saw he had a case of the one more line where just he left that one line open and Erica was able to get it clear.
Give up?
And Karioki slowly catching up. That was very interesting what Erica did there. Erica like made a swap really quick after another one, so she didn't end up clearing anything, and then slowly moved to the top. I don't know if you caught that, but it was very interesting. Like she sabotaged her own clear.
Yeah, they like to do that from time to time. Sometimes you think you have the AI figured out, and I don't know. It's sometimes odd which blocks they prioritize to go for sometimes.
And a 16 from Stump. You can tell that he wants this.
Something has come to my attention right now. I will be right back, but I'll make it super quick.
All right.
Way to go.
All right. So Karioki looking still like she's having a bit of trouble keeping him topped off, but she might have this right now. There she goes. So Karioki moving into stage 7 as Stump moving into stage 8 against Blaine. And still, as I've said before, Stump is very good at finding combos in his chains and getting that impressive 11 on Blaine there. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that's a gold split for him. Oh, man, he is certainly back with a vengeance here. He does not want to lose this one. Karioki finding some very good chains herself and some combos in them as well.
Yeah, it looks like Stump just woke up this race and really wants to win this. Sometimes you might get a little bit too comfortable after the first game if you won by a considerable margin, which it was 2 minutes. That's not a bad gap. It's not super close nor super far away, but maybe he was playing a little bit laid back the second round, and now he's putting it back on this third round, trying to close this out.
And it looks like Karioki is having a little bit of trouble like she was in the first round, keeping the opponents topped off. And Stump has had quite a few sub-20s in this one. I don't know if you saw Forky. He got an 11 earlier. His Blaine gold split was an 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's very, very impressive.
11s are pretty good, you know.
You know.
Nothing too bad. It's funny because when you get that low of a time, it's like literally superb in every single mode on this game.
Uh-huh.
Though it's kind of unheard of at like higher levels. In order to get those times on like super hard or even very hard sometimes, you have to purposefully mess up your chain and hope to get lucky.
Yeah. And that's the cause of, if you've ever seen, speedrunners going for times and they have their sum of best up, that's the reason their sum of bests are so crazy, is because like eventually you're gonna get a low time on every stage. So your sum of best on this game will be something crazy like 7-8 minutes, and that's just because you've got 11-12 second segments on every single stage.
I'm ready. Are you?
Which, I mean, is it possible to get a sum of best like that and then actually get a run? Sure.
Yes, but good luck. That's all I gotta say. I think Cards has a video on YouTube from a while back, and this is kind of old. It would be a lot faster today, where he took all of his best stages that he ever had and spliced them together for a segmented run. And it's just nuts.
Oh, really?
But I think his like sum of best was probably 20 seconds slower than what that video was to this day, at least.
Really? Because I think Cards on Tetris Attack has like a 550 sum of best or something like that.
That's nuts, dude. I can't even imagine like people getting a sub 7, even a sub 8. Sub 8 is so hard.
Yeah.
Can't win them all.
If Cards ever gets a sub 7 though, that'll be nuts.
If I'm ever going for a world record in that game and somebody gets a sub 7, I will quit that game forever, because that game has been solved at that point.
I think
there's
it's
no going back.
basically solved now. Cards time is ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
I can't even get a sub 8. I got a like 808, I think, in the tournament last year, and I just kept that as my PB. I have the tournament VOD links for my PB, and I'm like, this is cool. I'll just keep this.
No, I'm done with that game as soon as I beat Cypher's time. That's my goal.
Stump
All right,
does
so
look like he's running away with this, though. 2 stages left. He's got, it's been about like a 1.5 stage lead, even though it does feel like probably 2 stages now, because Bruno's playing with a high stack and Karioki's having a little bit of bad luck.
oh, but this might be it. Okay, so now it's definitely a 2-stage lead.
Luckily for Karioki, she finished it up pretty quickly after that, so... I mean, Stump got trolled by Gary for 3+ minutes last time, and that's what Karioki's gonna need right now in order to take this match and stay in the tournament.
It's not over yet. Gary has to be a good guy, and you never know with this game. He just, the cards would just may be there for him.
I hate to wish bad luck upon people, but I like to see super close races at the end. Though Stump just did a really impressive chain there, so he might get a really quick kill on Gary here if he's lucky enough.
Oh, and Gary wasn't doing anything, so that's going to be it. And I think that's a PB
for Stump. He was playing really good that entire time, so 2 PBs. This is pretty awesome.
That was a back and forth PB. Wow, that was really good.
Yeah, so congrats to Stump. He does manage to clutch it out in the 3rd game, and he will stay alive in the bracket. He's had, like, the only best of 3s in Redemption bracket right now. And he's played, like, a total of 8 races, where some people have only played, like, 2 so far. So he's been making these super close with whoever he's been playing.
Yeah, GG to both of them. I mean... The first round was a little shaky on both of their sides, and then Karioki pulling out a PB to win the second round, and then Stump right after pulling a PB out to finish out the round. See, those are the kind of matches we want to watch. We want to see the back and forth. We want to see the lead changes. We want to see the good puzzle action, and the more these players get better at these games, the closer the matches are going to be, and the more exciting these tournaments are going to end up.
Yeah, for sure. Couldn't have put it better there. So, unfortunately for Karioki, I guess she'll get to take that PB, which is pretty cool, because she probably wasn't expecting that too much. But she will be eliminated from this tournament with some pretty decent times, though. I think she's probably pretty happy with the progress she's made.
I don't think that anybody would be upset over going through a tournament and ending up with a multi-minute PB out of it, so... No, I think that since the start, she's improved, just going to keep getting better. So I look forward to seeing more runs from her.
She's gonna maybe finish with a sub 15 still, which would have been a PB if you disregard the last race. So it's like overall pretty consistent times for her.
Show me what you got. I'm gonna win.
It depends. Let's see if she can get this Gary kill right here. She is
it's looking good.
Lacking a little bit on the garbage though. And he's going to be able to clear all of those garbage blocks since they're all combos.
Yes. So that's the double-edged sword with combos. You can do a lot of rows of garbage with combos using relatively few blocks. But at the same time, one clear and it all comes crumbling down. So you got to really balance it out. I think that's part of why Stump was doing so well so consistently, is Stump was doing very well at incorporating those combos into his chains.
I'm gonna win. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. I'm gonna win.
And it looks like it was Karioki's turn to get trolled by Gary here, because Gary does not look like he's going to be done anytime soon.
Oh man, I don't want to see the 3+ minute bout again. Gary, don't do this to us. You ruined so many runs.
Ooh. That stack.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
no.
it is like super deja vu right now. Oh no.
Ah, that stack. As soon as I saw her raise, she raised a few too many lines, and it kind of got me a little nervous. I saw the clear that she was going for, but she just happened to raise a little too much. Got to be really careful with situations like that.
Yeah, super unfortunate because that's gonna reset all the progress she had on Gary too.
Yeah.
And this one didn't get off to the greatest start either, so she might be playing the garbage game here for maybe another minute or so.
Gary's getting some very good chains too, so he's going to be putting pressure right back on her. So right here, I probably would have raised a lot more since I didn't have a whole lot. I wouldn't have had a whole lot of garbage coming to me. I would have used that opportunity to really gain some ammunition. Oh, Gary's got a lot of garbage on his screen, though. He's doing so good at just at just clearing and lowering every time she throws something at him. It's getting really frustrating. I see she's got a chain visualized here that she's looking to throw. So let's see if this works out.
Does hard mode Gary 2 have faster cursor movement than some of the very hard opponents?
I'm not sure. That'd probably be something worth looking into.
Oh, it looks like, is she going to get the kill? She does, and she'll finish it at 17:53 on her splits. Almost being able to take the match, but coming up just short there.
Yeah. But GG's to our competitors here. They really put on a good round. These are the kind of tournament matches I really enjoy commentating because you get to watch these lead changes. You get to really get in depth and watch their skills as they improve like right in front of your eyes.
So that was a pretty entertaining match there. Both of them like showed momentum in their respective games that they won. Karioki almost with the good comeback there, just falling a little bit short. But if you want to see some more action, stick around because we will have one more match for the night right after this, heading back to main bracket and some more losers action. So more bracket lines on more bracket lives on the line there. So stay tuned for that. I'm seeing if we maybe can get a word with Karioki. I want to try to get a word with each one of the losers bracket people who get knocked off, just to see what was in their mind for the races and things like that.
Certainly.
All right, so we will have some words from both of them, so stay tuned just a little bit and we're gonna talk it over. I guess we could look at the bracket really quickly for the redemption round though. So as you can see in Stump, he's gonna move on to losers semifinals, gonna take on the winner of JHKR and X Gamer, which is going to be tomorrow actually. I think a pretty like late afternoon game there. Alright, so we got both of them. Hey, Karioki and Stump. Good races. Everybody enjoyed it. And you guys both got a PB, so congrats to both of you. If they can hear us, I don't know. Oh, I hear something. I hear the stream on Stumpson. I can say that.
Yeah, it was a fun race.
Yeah, Stump. So
Yeah, for
since
sure.
you're here, I'll start with you. Were you feeling good today? You had race 1 and 3 were pretty good, and you managed to get a PB on the third race. We saw how consistent you would put out those 6 and 7 chains. So do you think overall you were playing a little bit better than you usually do?
Yeah, towards especially in the third game.
Gotcha. And is there any specific strat, or do you just kind of try to like send as much garbage as you can, pile on a big chain, or what's in your head going into this?
Well, I try not to without an initial drop, but then just do what I can.
Fair enough. And karaoke, I'll talk to you. Do you prefer like carry is short, or what do you go by? I guess exactly.
I usually go by Kari, yeah.
Kari, all right.
I
Well,
think you can hear me now, yeah.
yeah, I can
Sorry
hear you
for
now.
the tapping. I'm like, I couldn't. I had to replug my stuff in earlier and didn't realize that Discord didn't pick it up. Sorry for the tapping there because I was adjusting the mic and again. But hi, yes.
Oh, you're good. Discord likes to eat inputs, I guess, for devices all the time, so no worries there. But yeah, we saw you also hit a PB as well. And one question I wanted to ask you in specific was, I know we didn't know too much about your time specifically for puzzle games before the Warriors Woods tournament. So did you do speed runs of puzzle games before the tournament scene, or did you kind of just like pick them up because you enjoyed the games?
Please, I did some speed runs of them, but nothing big until like I started, watching either like the live Pokemon Puzzle League stuff at the GDQs or just that, making friends with the people who have run games. I almost I think AGDQ like 2014, I almost decided to run Kirby's Avalanche versus Cypher that year, but decided to back off because my times were not improving as much as I wanted them to then. But I mean, I just grew up on them, played them a bunch casually, so it's just kind of a new thing. It's that I'm speed running these ones, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I knew you had a big puzzle background. I guess I didn't really know that you ran Puyo, but I don't really know a lot of runners to begin with. So if I could ask you, which do you think is your strongest game? Maybe not in terms of speedrunning, but just overall skill.
The Puzzle League games. Just I played Tetris Attack. I played both the Pokemon ones growing up a lot. While like Wario's Woods was more of my mom's game. She's the one that played that more often.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Well, I appreciate both of you for a fantastic race, and congrats again on both of the PBs. If you have any final thoughts on the tournament in whole or any of your matches, go ahead and say it. I'll start with you, Stump. You can go ahead, Karaoke, if you had any final thoughts on anything.
I mean, not really. Just that I'll play more. I should start playing more and get some, maybe a V hard time on the board as well. I'm gonna actually submit this last PB because it's acceptable now.
That's good. Yeah, I'm glad to see all the times that do come from this. So thanks again for participating, Kari. And Stump, we'll see you probably sometime next week when we find out who your opponent is. But everybody else, like I mentioned, we're going to have one more match coming up on the stream here. It's going to be Shadow versus Freya, some losers bracket action from Maine. So stick around, and we will have that for you very shortly.